Why should you choose to stay at Disney's Riviera Resort? What makes this Walt Disney World Resort hotel special? How can you make the most of your stay? Those questions and more will be answered in today's episode. Welcome aboard Imagination Skyway, your guided tour through the worlds of Disney and Imagineering. I'm your host, Matthew Krull, and it's my job to explore the stories and places we love and the people who bring them to life. Today's episode is all about Disney's Riviera Resort, recorded live from that property. Opening in December 2019, this Walt Disney World Resort Hotel is a Disney Vacation Club property that celebrates the beauty, romance, and culture of the French and Italian Riviera, with some inspiration from Walt Disney's travels to Europe and the Disney films that take place in this part of the world. In this episode, we explore everything you need to know about this resort, discuss why you should stay here, and provide advice on how to make the most of your stay. As you fasten your seatbelt, I encourage you to take out your mobile devices and search for Imagination Skyway on your favorite social media app. Better yet, if you're looking for ad-free episodes, bonus content, or the ability to comment directly on the podcast, head to patreon.com/Imagination Skyway, where you can sign up for a free account or a premium subscription. And if this episode leaves you wanting that next trip to Disney or any other destination, reach out to our partners and sponsors at KMV Travel by visiting kmvtravel.com/Skyway. As we begin our journey, please remain seated, keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times, and enjoy your journey aboard Imagination Skyway. We're continuing our live coverage of resorts by jumping over to one of my two home resorts and certainly one of my new favorites, which is Disney's Riviera Resort. I'm here once again with Kelly from KMV Travel. How are you, Kelly?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. I have received a lot of positive feedback about the lives on property, so I'm going to reserve all the resort-focused episodes to actually be present. So when we get to Disneyland Paris, for instance, you and I will have to take our families over to Paris and enjoy the experience there. We're going to talk a lot about Riviera. I love Riviera. It's a new favorite. I only stayed here for the first time this year. But like anything else, I want to start with rapid-fire questions tailored to this resort. So the first one is, we're literally looking at the Skyliner from here. You hop on the Skyliner at Riviera. Where are you headed?
Ooh, see, normally my answer would be Riviera. So probably to EPCOT.
EPCOT?
Yeah.
International
good place to
Gateway.
Yeah, exactly. Get a good dinner there.
Yeah. If I'm heading on the Skyliner, I'm heading back to the exit because it does make me very motion sick, so I'm not going on the Skyliner. But if I were able to just erase my motion sickness, I would probably head to International Gateway too. I mean, you pass over the back of the France Pavilion right into International Gateway, and it connects strongly to the theme of Riviera, so that would be where I'm going. There are two pools here. We're actually in between both of them. We have the Riviera pool and the Beau Soleil pool. Oh my gosh, Beau Soleil pool. Try saying that again. Which pool are you jumping to?
I normally go for the quiet pools, so probably the Beau Soleil.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then for me, I'm going to say Riviera pool only because of the S'il vous plaît splash pad for the girls. That's definitely where we spent some time this past trip and where I would go again. The last question is, there are a few specialty items at Riviera. There are actually a lot of specialty items, but I picked three of them. The Riviera cookie, the gelato at Riviera, or the banana bread at Riviera. Which one are you going for?
Ooh, the banana bread.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I still have some in my room. I packed it, yeah.
Nice.
It's so good. So if you hear any difference in sound right now, we had to jump because it did start raining, so I had to pause it and move to a different spot. But as I said, we want to start by talking a little bit about the history of this resort before we jump into some of the specifics, the reasons why people should stay here, the room setup, the dining options, the pool options. And when I had to remind myself about the history of the resort because I had read all about it. Feels like ages ago because this was before COVID, and was very excited for the resort to open, and did get to experience it
right before, like February of 2020. So right before things shut down was the first time I went to Topolino's. I went to Topolino's for dinner. I got to walk through Voyager's Lounge and see the hallway across from Voyager's Lounge. But this resort opened December of 2019 as a Disney Vacation Club resort. It opened with some controversy among Disney Vacation Club members because it was the first what I like to call DVC 2.0 resort, where it does come with resale stipulations. If you do sell your contract, if you are a Disney Vacation Club member owning here, it was the first property to have some restrictions and stipulations if you sell that. So that brought some controversy to it. It also introduced an entirely new room category called the Tower Studio, which we also have to talk about. But with that came with a lot of positives. So it introduced the Skyliner. The Skyliner opened a little bit after Disney's Riviera Resort opened. The resort did replace part of Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. So if you, like literally right here, we're looking at Sebastian's Bistro and several of the buildings across the way. It replaced 6 buildings for Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort and became its own property. It has this Italian and French theme, kind of straddles between the two of them, but more importantly for Disney fans, it celebrates Walt's trip to the European Riviera, and a particular trip that he took in 1935. And it was a well-documented trip. There's actually a book about that trip that he took with his wife Lillian, with Roy and Edna Disney, his brother and sister-in-law, and they took a tour of England, France, Germany, and Italy. And it said that during that period, he brought back nearly 700 books from the trip, which became the start of the Disney Studio Library and helped to inspire animators for a lot of the films that they were going to develop. So inside the Voyager's Lounge, which we'll talk about that, they have from the Walt Disney Archives some memorabilia from that era, from the 1930s. You're going to find books from the 1930s that are all foreign editions representing those books that Walt took back with him that inspired the animators for future films. Pinocchio is one example of those films. And beyond that, if you are a big Walt fan, you're going to find like photos of Walt. You're going to find a lot of references to that trip that Walt took and to his trips to Europe throughout the years. The 1935 one is a big one that's featured here, but he did go back to Europe on other occasions, and those trips are also represented here. But then it does have that French and Italian theme, and fitting with that, the resort includes over 40 original works of art by Disney and Pixar artists that are influenced by the art style of the Mediterranean region. You can also buy the artwork in the La Boutique gift shop and ship it home. That's the only place you can buy that artwork, is in this gift shop. And then the music loop that you'll hear in the background includes it includes a lot of jazz, sort of evoking that French-Italian Riviera feeling. But you'll also hear Disney and Pixar songs sung in Mediterranean languages or played in instrumental jazz. So it's really fun to hear certain songs sung in that like sung in Cruella de Vil, sung in French, or obviously they kept Le Festin from Ratatouille exactly the same, sung in French. You'll have Italian represented, you have a lot of Mediterranean languages represented, and while I do reference this as a solo or a standalone Disney Vacation Club Deluxe property because some are split. You have Boardwalk, for instance, half of it or part of it is a deluxe resort, the other part of it is a Disney Vacation Club resort. This one is a standalone resort, but you do not have to be a Disney Vacation Club member. You don't have to rent points to stay here. You can absolutely book rooms with cash like you would any other resort. And so I love talking about the history of this resort because it is so closely tied to Walt himself. And even if you don't care as much about the Walt history, it does have that great French, Italian, Mediterranean luxury feel to it. So turning over to you, Kelly, what do you personally love most about this resort?
Well, I have to say first, I feel like these conversations are always so interesting because I am so focused with my families on, what's the value of this resort? What's the point? And then sometimes you forget about those things of, what the Imagineers did when they brought this all together. So yeah. I just have to say, that's just, of course I love being in the Voyager Lounge. That's got to be one of the things for me. But knowing that connection to, I knew about the trip, but didn't know about there was 700 books that he brought back. So I think that's a piece of this, is the Walt aspect of why I love this resort so much. I think too, the dining options here are exceptional. The quick service is one that I will tell people, if you're on the Skyliner, come over here for dinner one night and just go to Bar Riva for the lounge bar setting, or go to Primo Piatto. It's amazing.
I've been eating here every single day at Primo Piatto, so I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You could totally, you could spend a whole week here and never leave this resort. And it is a very small resort too, which is another thing that I like about it. Coming from the DVC world of Old Key West and Beach Club, this is a much smaller resort, which is a nice aspect to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's definitely, it's interesting that it is one of the smaller, because it doesn't feel like it, but it is one of the smaller Disney Vacation Club resorts, although it does have 9 stories of rooms, 10 stories Topolino's. It definitely has that smaller feeling to it, to your point. So let's talk about the room options here. They're fairly traditional. They're not as extensive as some of the other resorts that we've covered. There's no club level here, for instance. It's one of the things that is missing from every standalone Disney Vacation Club resort hotel, except for, oh no, Jumbo House is mixed. Never mind, I take that back. Just say except for that one, but that's that's also a mixed one too. So what are the different room options here?
Well, you already talked about the one that's probably the most controversial.
Yes.
Yeah, like you said. So the Tower Studio, that's for 2 adults, which for my husband and I, when that came out, we thought this was great because it was such a nice opportunity to stay somewhere at a little bit of a lesser price for us when we're only 2 people. It is going to only be a resort view, so that means views of landscaping or the parking area, and it just has 1 queen size pull down and a very small, I hardly want to say kitchenette. It's more like it has a fridge and a microwave.
Yeah.
Obviously has the bathroom, everything like that, but it is purely you just got your space to stay there and you get all the amenities of this beautiful resort. If you want a little bit more room, then you have the deluxe studios. What I love about these deluxe studios is it's actually 5 beds. So, well, 5
adults.
5 adults, not 5 beds, but so you do have 1 queen bed and 1 queen size pull down, and then a single pull down. So it's a really great one. Like, my family was a family of 5. It was very difficult to find smaller places to stay. We always had to do those 2 bedroom or get 2 rooms, and this is such a nice option for that. Plus having that kitchenette, and you do have a resort view or a preferred view for this. So preferred view is going to be the views of the courtyard, lake, landscaping, Disney Skyliner, the pool. So basically the beautiful side. And then honestly, even the parking lot is beautiful too.
I almost prefer the resort view, to be honest, because while you're not guaranteed to get it, if you get lucky, you can get a view of EPCOT. So
yes.
I'm overlooking the parking lot, but I'm on the 7th floor. And I have a partial view of EPCOT. I can see the tops of all the pavilions plus Spaceship Earth from the Future World side of the park. And at night, I've sat on my balcony and seen the very edge of Luminous. And if I look way in the distance, I can see Contemporary and Bay Lake Tower. So I can also see from there Happily Ever After, or because it's the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party season, I have also one night so far sat on my balcony and watched Mickey's Not So Spooky Spectacular.
Nice.
From my balcony. So the resort views are actually some of the most popular from what I've seen, because while I have to be honest, the first time I stayed here, it was a 2-bedroom, it was for one night, it was preferred view, it was the middle of the property, overlooking the pools on the 8th floor. It was
absolutely gorgeous. You said I'm going to start
gorgeous.
At the top and work my way.
I know, I started there and then literally I moved to a room on the 2nd floor facing the parking lot. I'm like, all right, maybe the resort view is not so great, but this trip totally changed my perception of the resort view.
That's where those requests come in.
Exactly.
Knowing where to
I requested a higher floor.
Yes.
I said, I'll wait for my room. It's okay. Just give me a higher floor. And I'm glad I did, because that did make a huge difference.
Exactly. Well, now to the, working our way up, actually. We have a 1-bedroom villa. So that's 5 adults still, but the nice part of that is you get a little bit of extra room, and you do have 2 separate sleeping areas. You do also have a full kitchen and a washer and dryer in these units. So the deluxe studio and tower studio, you won't have that washer dryer. There are laundry facilities on the premises, so you can always use those, but it's nice to have that. Then 2-bedroom villa, where you started out, sleeps up to 9 adults, and you do have a resort view, preferred view, and you're going to have 1 king bed, 2 queen beds, 1 queen size pull down, 1 single pull down. So obviously we're getting more and more as we move up. And then full kitchen, washer, dryer, And then the last option is a 3-bedroom grand villa. So this one's still on your list, I guess, to do.
So I walked into the 3-bedroom grand villa the other day. I was taking advantage of the Disney Vacation Club, what do they call it? It's the member updates, which is like a half hour. They just kind of give you the updates on things that are around, that are opening soon, any incentives they have to add on, things like that. But they said it's in the Grand Villa, so I'm like, all right, I'll sign up for that. So I got to go into the Grand Villa the other day on the 4th floor, and it is gorgeous.
Yes.
It's absolutely gorgeous. The master bedroom and the master bathroom and the 1 and 2 bedroom, I thought that was extravagant, but then I walked into the Grand Villa master bathroom and it's like its own, it's the size of some of the standard rooms on property.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. It has a what do you call those? The makeup vanities where you like sit down, you got the mirror there.
Yeah.
It has the jacuzzi tub, it has the walk-in shower. It's just this massive, and that's just the bathroom. It's just absolutely, it's crazy. I think that's one of the things that I was always skeptical about Riviera when it first opened was I heard the Tower Studios and I thought, okay, Riviera's gonna have small rooms. We talked about that European intimates, if you're used to traveling to Europe and used to smaller rooms, that's why you stay at Riviera. And that's true for the Tower Studios. But then the deluxe studios, the 1, 2-bedroom villas and the Grand Villa are larger than most of the other Disney Vacation Club properties. So your 1-bedroom here is going to have more square footage than a 1-bedroom at most other DVC resorts. So that was a misconception that when I stayed here, I said, yeah, this is a huge room. I don't know what I was so afraid of staying here for. Even the deluxe studio, which we stayed at the beginning of this trip, was very spacious. The 4 of us slept very comfortably. Maggie slept on that pull-down single dip bed. She loved it. It had Pascal on the side, sort of painted on there. And in the 1 and 2-bedroom villas, when the pull-down has Mickey on the beach, on the Mediterranean, Mickey and Pluto.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a very, all the rooms feel like you walk into them and they're very luxurious is really the only word I can use to describe it. You feel like you're walking into this luxury Mediterranean resort, which I love about it. Which I learned recently that this was the first resort to feature the Murphy beds. And that was why all of the refurbishments they've been doing across Bay Lake Tower and at, what was the other one they did recently? Boardwalk. And Beach Club, they started including Murphy beds because they've been hearing feedback that everyone loves the Murphy beds over the pull-out couches. So they've been doing this, and then when they built now Polynesian's Island Tower, like we talked about, they used the Murphy beds because of feedback about that. They do not have the pull-down twin, which would probably make that property even better because you would have the 5th adult you could sleep in there. But they have the 2 bathrooms instead, which they got a lot of feedback about that being I agree, like a major win.
Yep. I'd pick the 2 bathrooms, but.
Yeah, actually we should talk about the bathrooms in the deluxe studios because that kind of is, it's not 2 bathrooms, but it's a split bathroom.
Yes, it's almost like if you've been to Bay Lake, the way that they have the 2-bedroom where you have like a 2.5 bath, you kind of have that 2.5. Or the 1.5, I should say, type of a feel there. So it's a nice, I think that this is one of the best options for bigger families that are looking to not have a 2-bedroom or even a 1-bedroom because you are getting that extra space in the studios that you don't get at other places.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice to have 2 showers, one being a stand-in shower, one being a shower tub. So when we did stay in the 2-bedroom, there were, how many of us? 4 adults, 2 kids. And the 2 adults, the grandma and aunt, stayed in the 2nd bedroom. And so they showered at the same time because you've basically got 3 doors, 3 sliding doors. So you have one into each side of the bathroom and then a dividing door in the middle. So they literally showered at the same time, got ready much more efficiently after the pool to then head up to dinner for Topolino's. And when my girls get older, I'm just picturing the efficiency of us doing rope drop or coming back after a long day in the parks and being able to, especially in the summer, we tend to lean towards showering at night. So coming back, being exhausted, but then showering at the same time, 2 at a time, as opposed to 1 at a time to get ready. So those are a few differences that I think are worth pointing out about these studios compared to some of the others. Some of the others do have that option. Grand Floridian has that, and Polynesian has that in their deluxe studios, but not all the resorts do. Anything else we want to talk about with the rooms? The villas have a kitchen,
Yes.
which has a refrigerator. I learned this recently because I decided, because I'm doing this sort of staycation here and working while I'm here, I said, I'm here for 2 weeks. Let me actually cook myself dinner one night just to save some money. And the one thought I had was like, well, I don't have Tupperware, so I have to cook myself a small amount of pasta so that I don't have leftovers. And then I'm looking for the pots, and I find Tupperware. And I say, okay, so Disney actually has Tupperware. So I made the whole thing of pasta, and now I have leftovers for a few days to enjoy. And it's great that they thought about that little detail. Because it's one thing to cook the meal, but then what do you do with all the leftovers? They have Tupperware for you. So they do have those in the 1 and 2 bedroom villas. The deluxe studios have that kitchenette, like you mentioned. And I'm trying to think if there are any other particular features of the rooms. They're just gorgeous. I mean, if you haven't seen inside, the villas in particular are just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and you will have a balcony or a patio to sit out on, which most of our deluxe is going to. But it is just a beautiful view. And like you said, even if you are on the other side, on the parking lot side, you still have a really nice view to look at. And you have a great coffee shop here to grab your coffee if you don't want to make it in your room too.
That's true. Well, let's talk about dining then. I was wondering which way we should go next. You started talking about the dining options. So Le Petit Café means a little cafe is one of those. Do you have a go-to at that cafe?
I'm just a tea person, so I'm just very boring and get tea.
That's not boring.
Yeah, but there's a lot of great options.
Yeah. It's actually one of those resorts that even if you go to Primo Piatto, they have the tea laid out for you to pick from, which they do not have at every property.
No.
Normally have to go to the counter, bother the person, skip a line, and say, do you have any tea? And then you ask for the tea bags, but here they actually have it laid out.
Yeah, we feel
So it makes a
spoiled
huge
when we're at places
difference.
like this,
Yes. I really like the Joffrey's Coffee cold brew at Le Petit Café.
Yeah.
And their cappuccinos are really good too. But then it has the adjoining Voyagers Lounge, which we just talked about. A couple things that are interesting there. So they have a hat that represents, it's not the real one, a hat that represents the fedora that Walt wore in Europe, which you can see some of the photos of him in that fedora right outside Voyagers Lounge. There's an original Charlotte Clark stuffed Mickey Mouse doll from the 1930s, that same era he took that big trip. And of course, black and white photos from that trip. I talked about the books that are in the Voyagers Lounge. There's just a ton, if you're a fan of old merchandise and memorabilia. I just discovered today in the Voyagers Lounge, in the Le Petit Café for the first time, they have this really old, it must be from the same time period, plate set.
Okay.
That's displayed right above the utensils. So that's interesting. And then the Le Petit Café turns into a lounge at 3 o'clock. So they serve alcoholic beverages starting at 3 o'clock and they're open until 9 p.m., which is interesting. And there's a piece of artwork there that I love. So if you're a fan of the Aristocats, they have, what's his name? Uncle...
Albert? Is it? No. No, that's Mary Poppins.
That's Mary Poppins, yes.
I can hear the music in my head, and I bet that everyone else is doing that too.
Yeah. But the stumbling goose, that's it. Is it Uncle Waldo?
I think Waldo, yes.
So, Uncle Waldo from Stumbling with Abigail and Amelia through the streets of Paris. And you can buy that artwork from La Boutique and take it home with you. So that's just, you can buy a canvas or paper, so you can have a really gorgeous canvas of that painting.
Yeah, and it's like, I think it's Monet style. That's if I remember correctly.
All of these are very Mediterranean style, so they took influences from the same art style from the Mediterranean and turned it into specific paintings. But it's those little details that make this resort really, really incredible. What other dining do you want to talk about here? We've got a lot to choose from.
Let's work our way up.
Okay. We have to go down first.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll go down and then up.
We start on the second floor, which is where you enter the resort. Now we're going to go downstairs to the first floor. we've got Primo Piatto at Bar Riva. I still have never eaten at Bar Riva.
Oh my gosh, you're missing out.
I know.
Yeah.
What's your go-to there?
So there is a chicken sandwich, and I can't remember what the actual name of it is, but it is so good. Honestly, anything you get from that menu is exceptional, and they have a great drink selection. If either non-alcoholic, alcoholic drinks.
Yep.
And they always have a great team there too. So that's one of my favorite spots on property. And I have families that I will often tell, if you're staying at Pop Century, Art of Animation, wherever it may be, come over here to grab dinner one night because it is always great.
I know that's the benefit of staying at Caribbean Beach, which we'll also talk about, is you can walk right to Riviera. I did the walk this morning before I started working. I walked all the way over to the Skyliner station at Caribbean Beach and came back. It was just a 20-minute round trip. Very, very easy. Bar Riva, by the way, means river bar. What I like about Bar Riva, as someone staying here, is there is a 24-hour beverage refill station at Bar Riva.
That is a pro tip.
When Primo Piatto closes, which is at 11 p.m. it closes, it does the late night snacking from 10 to 11. It closes at 11. So if you have that refillable mug, which I've taken full advantage of this trip, at 11 p.m. you would normally be out of luck if you wanted anything, but they do have the soda machine at Bar Riva for refills. That's open 24 hours. So any time of night, you can go over to Bar Riva, right across from the pool, and take advantage of that. Primo Piatto means first plate in Italian, and it might be one of the best quick services at a resort.
Definitely.
The breakfast is great.
Yes.
Really, really great. I've had every single morning since I've been here, because I tried it for the first time on this trip, the avocado toast. Something very simple,
yeah,
but incredibly good. On this
yes.
ciabatta bread, it's like loaded with stuff, and it's very, very fresh. Today I did treat myself to the blueberry lemon pancakes.
Can't go wrong.
So good. And then they have your traditional foods that you can get there as well. For lunch, I've gotten the the grilled chicken arugula sandwich, which comes on a panini and it has a tomato spread and olive. It's just so good. All these flavors that are inspired by the Mediterranean. So even if you're not dining at table service, Primo Piatto has incredible options. They have the Riviera cookie, like I mentioned, banana bread, like I mentioned. You can buy gelato from the freezer at Primo Piatto. Try that today. It's very, very good. They have a lot to choose from.
Yeah,
So
they also
it's
have
one of
some
the better ones.
great allergy options over here too.
Yeah.
My sister is gluten-free, so we're always kind of on the lookout for that, and being able to find some things that are a little bit less theme parky sometimes is nice, and this is one of the best spots for that.
They do have a lot.
Yeah.
I do love, Disney's always good about being allergy friendly. It's good that this one is also great. Oh, they have flatbread pizzas. I know you said gluten free, but like they have flatbread pizzas here. They just have a lot of great options. We should stay on the first level because one thing that most people don't realize is here is a gelato cart.
Yes.
Right by the pool. So if you're at the pool and you're craving gelato, because you are on the Mediterranean, you can pop right out of the Riviera pool. It's not open all the time because it is one cast member operating it, but usually starting after 10 a.m. and as late as 9 p.m. I've seen sporadically throughout the day, if I've popped down here for a walk, that cart will be open, and it is Vivili Il Gelato, which is the same cart at Disney Springs. The same company, and that cart at Disney Springs. I think that company says his family owned since 1930. So also sticking with the 1930s theme.
Yeah.
So maybe Walt actually had some of that in Italy. You never know, when he was touring the Riviera.
I think I like that one. We'll say that.
It's not a true fact until it's proven, but there's a good chance he at least encountered it. One other thing I'll mention, because you talked about the easy access for people from Caribbean Beach, Pop, and Art of Animation, is that from Riviera, you also have quick and easy access to Sebastian's Bistro. So you can easily walk over there, 5-10 minute walk tops, and enjoy Sebastian's Bistro.
Which is probably my favorite table service on property. It's amazing.
It says a lot. Again, we'll have to Caribbean Beach. I think we'll have to talk about Caribbean Beach. All right, so I think, unless I'm mistaken, the last one is Topolino's.
We had to save the best for last.
We have to save the best for last.
So Topolino's Terrace, breakfast and dinner.
Flavors of the Riviera.
Yes. Have you done both breakfast and dinner?
I have done both breakfast and dinner.
It's a very different experience.
It is.
And it's, you can see that even if anyone's listening that's done the dining plan, you know that there's 1 table service credit for breakfast, 2 for dinner, and it really does kind of have that upscale change. But I love that they use that space in that way where it's it's family friendly no matter what. They always have great options for kids, even in the evening, but it's just such a fun, still kind of upscale character dining experience in the morning.
Yes.
And then in the evening, it is very much a special occasion. Go there to watch the fireworks from the balcony patio area that they have up there. Just a beautiful spot if you're going to try to have a fun evening out.
Yeah, I should just look. There's a 10-minute wait list if you're curious, if you want to go. So for breakfast, I'll just point out a couple of things. Joanna's favorite go-to is the quiche Gruyere, which is house-made pancetta, house-made pancetta, roasted potatoes, Gruyere, field greens, and lemon vinaigrette. I used to always go with the sour cream waffle, which has roasted apples, chantilly, orange maple syrup, and served with a choice of smoked bacon, ham sausage, or plant-based sausage. Something about the flavors you wouldn't think mixed together, they just absolutely make this sweet waffle dish that you cannot taste anywhere else. But this trip, I said, let me try something new. I went with the wood-fired steak and eggs. It is now like my absolute favorite. So good. It has polenta, pomodoraccio tomatoes, roasted potatoes, wild mushroom conserva, which those of you listening who know I hate mushrooms, I did ask for it to be taken off, and they did. And choice of 2 eggs, any style. It might be the best steak I've had on property, and that was for breakfast.
Wow.
So I definitely will be going back again. I love the little Italian dance they do to, it's sort of a parody of Funiculi,
Yes,
that song.
Yeah.
Celebrating the Italian Riviera, and then you've got Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy, each one representing a particular particular discipline of art. So I think Mickey's a painter, Minnie's a writer/poet, Daisy is a ballerina, and Donald is a sculptor.
Perfect, you got him.
I was running through, I did not write him down, I had to remember. We've been there a few times, so I did remember, and it's a great place. Dinner, do you have a favorite menu item there?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I have a favorite menu item because I went with my family. It was a group of 7 of us, and I think we each got something different.
Yeah.
And we all kind of tried each other's things, and we were like, no, this is the best. No, this is the best. It truly is one of the best restaurants. If you're looking for something a little bit nicer, a little bit more upscale, you can still go in your theme park clothes, but it has an exceptional menu. The service is phenomenal. Great wine menu if you are a wino, but I don't think I could pick just one, honestly.
The go-to appetizer for us, or starter for us, is the regatta, which comes on the, it's really good, or comes with, not on, this really good, like these breadsticks. I don't know how else to describe them. They're these long, thin baguettes that you get. It has tomato, aged balsamic, cracked pepper, basil, and epi. It's all very, very good. And then one that was sold to me by, I've had now Mike as my server twice. He describes the menu in a very poetic way. And he sold me the first time on the classic sole, and it was really, really good. It's got capers, baby squash, asparagus, and petite potatoes. But this time, I'm actually dining here tomorrow night, so I'll have to report back.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get the filet mignon this time, which
Okay.
has truffle palm puree. Again, I'm going to ask for it without that. Broccolini, sherry, champignon ragout, and red wine bordelaise.
All right, I'm gonna say, actually, I just took a look at the menu again, and I'm gonna actually say the sea scallops.
Joanna's
were
favorite
amazing.
is sea scallops. Yep.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. So, all right, Topolino's, definitely have to check it out. By the way, for those who don't know, Topolino is Mickey Mouse's name in Italian, and it means little mouse. So that's why that restaurant is called that, and it again draws into the theme of the resort. And the restaurant draws inspiration from French and Italian cliffside restaurants, which is appropriate being on the 10th floor, overlooking the Skyliner, Caribbean Beach. You can see in the distance Tower of Terror, Tree of Life. You can see Pandora, you can see Everest, you can see obviously the Coronado Springs, Swan, Dolphin, Swan Reserve, and EPCOT. So they do, during Luminous, dim the lights and play Luminous, the music from Luminous, while you're watching Luminous, similar to California Grill, what they do for Happily Ever After. And to add to the dining, you can also take the Skyliner to EPCOT and the entire Crescent Lake Resort area.
Yes.
So we're not even going to go down the list there, but if you know from listening to our Boardwalk episode, there's a ton over in that area. So let's switch to recreation, because there's also a lot of recreation. Where do you want to start with this?
Well, we talked about the pools before.
Yes.
So we can talk about those. The Riviera pool is going to be more of like the louder pool, the family
main pool.
Yeah,
the Stormalong Bay of Riviera.
Yes, exactly. But I will say that this pool, as much as it is the Stormalong Bay, the main pool, it still has a very upscale feel. It doesn't seem to get as loud as other pools do.
No, it doesn't.
So I don't know if it's just where it's located or what the feel is of it. But it's a beautiful spot there. They will do the pool games there, different things. Of course, you're right by Bar Riva. You're so close to Primo Piatto, so very easy to spend a pool day, grab food super easily. And then the Si Vous Play, which I think is just the cutest name in the world.
Yeah, Si Vous Play, spelled Play.
So that is going to be the kids' water play area, and it's adorable. It's Fantasia. It has the hippos. It's just, I wish that I had a reason.
Yeah, they both loved it.
It's adorable. And then obviously we always have a quiet pool as well. So that's the Beau Soleil pool, and that is just going to be more of your basic pool. Not going to have the pool games and everything like that, but still, because this property is not very large, it's kind of all within a courtyard. So you'll have the Beau Soleil pool right across from Primo Piatto. So same thing, you can easily get over to Bar Riva, easily get over to grab some food, and really easily go back up to your room, which is one thing that I love about this resort too.
Yeah, it is very easy. I've gone up and down that elevator so many times because it's just so easy to pop on up. They've got an elevator on the east side, an elevator on the west side. What's also great about the Beau Soleil pool, which means beautiful sun in French, is that it is open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So if you really want pool time, it's open most of the day. And then the Riviera pool is open 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. So you really have you can get a lot of pool time here. The Riviera pool does have the games, like you mentioned, so it's got daily motorized boat races and poolside games. There's a Starlight Soiree poolside party with fun and games that happens after dark. And I think that's it for pools that I wanted to mention. But then that just starts off the recreation here. You've got the Eventi room, which we're standing right outside of right now. So that's got mosaic art classes, which are instructor-led. You also have instructor-led painting. Both of those you pay extra for, but you can do throughout the day free arts and crafts. So we did a resort day here. Very, very hot, middle of the day. We went down to the Eventi room after the pool, after showering and getting ourselves all together. And we did just like arts and crafts. I colored Remy. Maggie colored a daisy bookmark that we're taking home with us. We were watching Cars while we were in there. It's very cool, calm. And you can, except for when they have the classes, go in there anytime it's open for those. That's just, again, there's even more. Should we talk about the lawn?
Yes, well, they always, of course, at all of the Disney resorts, do have the movies under the stars.
Mm-hmm.
So that here is every night at 8:30 p.m. other than Fridays.
Yep.
Also over on kind of off of the lawn is the campfire activities. So that's nightly, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And then there's a ton of games that are just out here. So life-size chess, bocce, I believe.
Yes.
What else am I missing? There is a ton that's over here, and it's all, nothing is an additional charge to play or anything. And a lot of seating here too, which if you are just, even if it's grandma and grandpa are coming and they want to take a minute to themselves, there's a lot of areas where you can just sit outside, which I think some resorts don't have that, and this is a nice part of this.
There's a lot. You've got lots of tables, lots of umbrella tables. There are bench swings that you can sit back and kick back and just watch what's happening at the central courtyard here at the resort. The lawn games are a lot of fun. Bocce, as I was digging into more research, gained popularity in Italy. So that's why they picked that as a game that's represented here. But the oversized chess or life-size chess is a lot of fun. You also have, I have seen cornhole.
Yes.
And life-size Connect 4.
Yes.
So just a lot of fun little lawn games to play, like things I would want to buy to take home with me, to have at a backyard barbecue, to entertain people, although I would not have the same cuisine options that are available here. And I'll mention for the campfire that happens every night, you can get complimentary marshmallows for the fire, or you can purchase s'mores kits if you want to go all out with s'mores. The one thing that is not so extensive here is shopping, which there's just the one gift shop, La Boutique. And the thing that makes this gift shop special, as I mentioned, is you can buy all the artwork you see inside the resort. So as you're walking through the resort, through the hallways on every floor, through the lobby, through the first floor, you're going to see a lot of artwork, as we mentioned, over 40 pieces of art designed for Riviera, and you can buy any of them in a canvas or a print. The print you can also have framed and shipped directly to your house. So I think that's such a cool advantage of La Boutique. And if you love the smell, which is unique at Riviera, they have a candle you can buy. An official Riviera candle that you can buy that is the Riviera scent that you can take home with you. And of course, you've got the Riviera merchandise, Disney Vacation Club merchandise, Disney merchandise, and that's also where you'll find the sort of grocery section of the resort. So you'll be able to purchase bread, snacks, essentials, toiletries, things you might have forgotten at home. That's over there.
They do pack a lot into that little shop, I will say.
They pack a lot into there, yeah. So transportation is also worth mentioning. We've talked about the walk to Caribbean Beach, and we have mentioned the Skyliner. So why don't you discuss some of the transportation that's here and where they go?
Yeah, so when you're on property, your transportation, of course, is included in your stay. So you do have the Skyliner to EPCOT and Disney's Hollywood Studios. The nice thing about staying at Riviera with EPCOT is you kind of skip the whole hub situation at Caribbean Beach, which is not bad in any way whatsoever.
It's very quick. You have to do it to go to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. But you get on at Riviera and you're at EPCOT in 10 minutes. And it's a beautiful view. If you can do the heights and the movement.
I'm the exception. Everyone listening is like, yes, I love the Skyliner.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I can't do it.
But even with Hollywood Studios, it's still a super quick trip over there because all you're doing is getting on. And you, honestly, like you said before, you can walk to the hub area at Caribbean Beach where that's the Skyliner hub and just get it from there. So if you want to, for some reason, get your steps in before you go walk all around Hollywood Studios, you can do that.
It's only about a half a mile. It's not too far.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? When the weather's really nice, it's actually a beautiful walk.
Yes. And you walk under the Skyliner to get over there.
Yes. And then we do have buses here for Magic Kingdom, Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney Springs, and the water parks. As with all resorts for the water parks, it is going to be a transfer situation. So you'll transfer at Animal Kingdom for Blizzard Beach, or your transfer at Disney Springs for Typhoon Lagoon. But if you want to upgrade that, you can of course do the minivan. And exciting because we now have the option for deluxe guests and deluxe bill guests to do minivans from the airport and back to the airport.
That's
so
right.
I'm excited about that, so I had to include in our transportation talk.
Yes, that's worth mentioning. And its location here, because of its location here, it's not a long trip anywhere.
No, it's a great location.
I think it's Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, kind of a toss-up for which one it takes longer to get to, but still 10 minutes you're at either one of those spots. Disney Springs is just down the road. And then obviously Skyliner, like I said, 10 minutes to EPCOT, about 10 minutes or so to Hollywood Studios, and you just have access to so much stuff while you're here. So why should someone consider staying at Riviera?
And I think I say this every single episode, I'm like, there's so many reasons, but it is really different depending on what the family's looking for. Always when we have a Skyliner, it's if you're going to be spending a lot of time at EPCOT, Hollywood Studios, when it's during those festival times for EPCOT, and you're going back and forth to food and wine every night, it does cut down on a lot of time if you are on the Skyliner, you're close by. If you just want to have access to a lot of dining, this is a nice way to do it if you don't want to be on the boardwalk. I know a lot of times with my family, they would say they didn't want to be on the boardwalk because they felt like there was a lot of hustle and bustle, which I can understand in some rooms. Other rooms, you definitely are away from that.
Yes.
But if you want to be completely away, this is a great option to still have that deluxe villa feel. And I also feel like this is almost like the feeling of a Grand Floridian, where it's upscale. It's, you feel like you're going to be, you are being treated wonderfully at Disney, but it doesn't have that same amount of people that are going in and out that Grand Floridian does. So this is a nice option if you do kind of want that upscale stay. And then I think if you want a standalone DVC and you don't want to have that huge Old Key West, it's my home resort, I love it, but it is a very big resort. So this is a nice standalone DVC. It's not connected to a regular resort stay hotel, so it's a nice option. It's about 300 rooms, I believe, so pretty small. And then I love this that we do have the option for couples or for friends that are staying together, mom and daughters, whatever it may be, to stay in those tower suites. Those are nice, or I should say tower studios. Just a nice option to have all these amenities, but not have to pay for that deluxe studio.
The tower studios, by the way, they are all in the tower. That's why they're called the Tower Studios. So the tower that has the big RR at the top as you're looking at the resort. And if you want to see on the second floor, so the lobby level, if you go to the tower, they have a preview, a sample room, I guess you can call it, or a model room. That's what I was looking for. A model of the Tower Studio with a glass window. So you can actually peek in and see what it looks like. So if you're not sure about the square footage, maybe feels a little too small. It was bigger than I thought it would be when I peeked my head inside. It's interesting you mentioned this feels like Grand Floridian because when it opened, they marketed it as the Grand Floridian of the EPCOT Resorts. So I think that says something about, I guess, my personality, that I have two homes at DVC, Grand Floridian and Riviera, the Grand Floridian of the EPCOT Resorts. And it's true, like in the hotel rooms, they have the monogram. First tissue is like the R, like a Grand Floridian. They have the GF when you walk in. So every little detail is very meticulously cared for here. Last question, what advice would you offer for someone to make the most of their stay at Riviera? They've decided to stay here. What can they do to make the most of their stay?
So I think this is one of those resorts where if you have it in your budget to do park hopper, do that, because it is so easy to get to two different parks that when you come back from Magic Kingdom and you're like, you know what, I kind of want to just grab a crepe in France, you literally can do that.
That's right.
And it's going to be hard to say no to yourself. So it's like when you stay at Magic Kingdom, you stay at Grand Floridian and you're like, I really want to go in and get that churro.
Yep.
But here you're going to have a lot more options outside of churros too. So I would say do that. And then also if you can build in a rest day, I always recommend that. Especially when you're staying deluxe, you're going to have so many amenities like we're talking about with even just the lawn games, the opportunity you have to go to other resorts that are on the Skyliner. So build in that time because that's a lot of the best memories that I think a lot of us have is just walking through and exploring the resorts that we've stayed at or just ones that we kind of stumble upon on our journeys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll add to the park hopper piece because it's almost like a triangle. You go from here to Epcot, and then from International Gateway, you could take the friendship boats over to Hollywood Studios and then hop back on the Skyliner to head back here. So it's very easy to park hop from this resort. I will second that. Anyway, Kelly, it's been great chatting about Riviera. I love Riviera. This is now my third stay at Riviera. I will definitely be back again. And we will have to jump to more resorts. I keep saying moderate resorts. Should Caribbean Beach be our first, or French Quarter, or Riverside, or Coronado? I've done Coronado Springs.
Yeah.
So
maybe we should do a Port Orleans.
Maybe Port Orleans.
Yeah.
That'd be a good choice. But anyway, great chatting with you, Kelly.
Welcome back to Imagination Central. Before you exit this episode, remember to follow Imagination Skyway on social media and share the show with anyone who might enjoy listening to our program. For ad-free episodes and bonus content, create a free account or sign up for a premium subscription at patreon.com/Imagination Skyway. When you're ready for your next vacation, remember that listeners of Imagination Skyway can get rewarded for booking a trip to Disney through 2026 through KMV Travel. Simply fill out the form at kmvtravel.com/Skyway and select Imagination Skyway under the How Did You Hear About Us question to be eligible for a special gift from the team. Terms and conditions apply. As you disembark, please remember to remain fully seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop. Then gather your belongings and watch your head and step as you exit. Thank you for joining me aboard Imagination Skyway, and remember, if we can dream it, we can do it.